And traffic was just bumper to bumper, as you can see here. Since the storm started, Pearson has recorded at least 30 centimeters of snow. What's left behind for Toronto is light flurries and some blowing snow for today. It's just getting going, though, for the Kingston and the Ottawa Valley region. So you've picked up a few centimeters already, and you'll continue to see the morning commute impacted there. Now, what's left behind for the warnings is this. We're going to start to see southwest winds through the day, so snow squall watches in place around Parry Sound, the Niagara region, Picton, Kingston too, and through the Bruce Peninsula, we do have blowing snow advisories. So the southwest winds will gust between 60 to 70 kilometers an hour today, so that will reduce visibility in the Niagara area, Bruce Peninsula. You can see that shaded blue. For the Toronto area, things a little bit calmer for you today, but we can't rule out those winds creating issues on the roads. The additional snow is under 5 centimeters in the Greater Toronto region, but Ottawa, it's 5 to 10 for you. Locally with those squalls, though, we could see up to 15 centimeters of snow. Now our storm watch coverage for you in Quebec. So it's going to get messy across Quebec today. Montreal, special weather statement for you, but you can see anywhere in blue, we've got some snow squall warnings and winter storm warnings as well, which just add in those stronger winds. So for the morning today, Montreal, it will start to pick up for the morning commute. It will continue up and down the St. Lawrence with some strong winds, and the morning commute and the afternoon commute, I think, will be an issue today if you're traveling in southern and eastern Quebec. So 10 to 20 centimeters for Montreal, 20 to 30 centimeters east of that, and then behind that we get into the deep chill. It's in the prairies today. It pushes to Ontario and Quebec over the next few days. What's the impact for Atlantic Canada? Let's find out now. Morning, you're looking at least 30 centimeters on the ground. Glad you could join us. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic. In southern Ontario, around Toronto, for example, scattered flurries today, but the bulk of that heavy snow is off to the east. Ottawa's just started for you over the past few hours, so that will be a morning impact, certainly through commute. The Kingston area, things are going to start to wrap up in the next few hours, but still slow going there. What we have in terms of watches and warnings left behind are these snow squall watches. So Parry Sound, Kingston, Niagara, and then through the Bruce Peninsula, snow squall warning, blowing snow advisory. So an additional general 5 to 10 centimeters through areas that will see those snow squalls today and into tomorrow because of southwest winds. But locally, note this, we could get up to 15 centimeters of snow. Now our storm watch coverage for Quebec. Now, Montreal, you're not in a snowfall warning, but we do have a special weather statement for you. Through the day, we're going to continue to see snow. It's already started in Montreal. East of that, heavier amounts of snow and blowing snow up and down the St. Lawrence. So 20 to 30 centimeters. Some of our highest amounts for Montreal is 10 to 20 for you. Hey, do you know what to do if you get in a car accident in this weather? Let's find out more from Emily Vukovic if that happens.
I'm Emily Vukovic. Thank you for joining us. It is the 29th of January, and man, difficult travel again today. Yesterday, it took people hours to get, from point A to point B, which should normally have taken them about 15 minutes. But because of the snow, because of the traffic, it ended up being commuter chaos trying to get home yesterday. We have snow squalls today. We've got blowing. We've got drifting snow today. Today is still going to be tough to travel. School closures, we're still keeping an eye on them. There is a really good chance that a lot of areas are going to be closed or school bus cancellations. So stay with us. We're going to have some of those details for you. Looking at the radar, you can see that the bulk of the moisture has now moved off towards the east, but we're starting to see snow squalls fire up on the shores of Huron and Georgian Bay. And this is why we do have snow squall watches and warnings in place, as well as the blowing snow advisory. Now down towards Niagara, we're starting to see this band form off of Lake Erie, and that's going to be hitting you fairly hard. You could see about 15 centimeters of snow throughout the day today. We're looking at -7 as our daytime high. The winds, they're going to be gusting up to about 60 kilometers an hour throughout the afternoon and in through the evening. So that blowing and drifting snow, that is going to cause poor visibility, because if you were out shoveling last night or even early this morning, you notice that the snow is fairly light and fluffy. It is not that really heavy, wet, moisture heavy snow. It's that light kind of fluffy blow around. Nobody's making a snowman today, if you get what I'm saying. So that's what's going to cause all the blowing and the drifting snow. Here are the squalls. Looking at the future radar, there's that band down towards Niagara, whips through the area throughout the day today, and then it continues to track its way kind of east and north throughout the day tomorrow. And these squalls, they're probably going to continue until about Thursday. We've got those strong southwesterly winds. Snowfall amounts from yesterday, Pearson has recorded unofficially about 30 centimeters of snow, 25 to 30 centimeters in the downtown core, and we have an additional 5 centimeters of snow on the way today, just because of the flurry activity that we could see some from those snow squalls. We're not going to be seeing any bands. The bands are coming in from the southwest, so off of Huron as well as Georgian Bay. That's why in through the Bruce Peninsula 5 to 10 centimeters, and in through Niagara locally up to 15 centimeters in those squalls. Temperatures are now becoming a huge story for us. Look at this drop off. It is going to feel closer to the minus 30s for Wednesday and into Thursday. Oh, traffic is going to be a mess this morning. We have got about 30 fresh centimeters of snow on the ground. Welcome to winter in Canada. I'm Emily Vukovic. Thanks for joining us. It's the 29th of January, and this system's still really plaguing much of eastern Canada. The worst of it is done for us through the city of Toronto in terms of the bulk of the moisture, but we still have blowing and drifting snow. Take a look. We've got watches and warnings issued by Environment Canada. The blowing snow advisory, that's legit. That is really going to be happening today. And even though Toronto is not an advisory, there's a really good chance that those city streets, as soon as they get plowed, they're going to be covered with snow again, because you probably noticed as you were shoveling, like I did, that the snow is really light and fluffy. It is not that moisture-laden snow. It's not that heavy, wet snow that's perfect for building snowmen. It's that light, fluffy, easy to pick up and shovel kind of snow. That's going to be tricky for us today. Temperatures this morning are actually warmer than they were yesterday, but warmer than they're going to be for tomorrow. So today's actually balmy in comparison to what we're surrounded with. We've got a lot of cold air filtering in today. We're looking at -7, feeling like -14, but temperatures are going to be dropping rapidly. The winds coming in from the southwest, they're going to be gusting up to about 70 kilometers an hour in those snow squall areas. In through Toronto, gusting to about 60 to 65 kilometers an hour. Not only today, but into tomorrow. We are going to see an additional couple of centimeters through Toronto. There's that pretty intense band going through Niagara throughout the day today. And these squalls, they're possibly going to continue through Thursday. So they are going to be very intense, depending on where you're traveling to. If you're heading up towards the Bruce Peninsula, about 15 centimeters of snow today. Niagara could also be picking up about 15 centimeters of snow. So traveling along that QEW, that's going to be tricky today. I think many of the major highways are going to be tricky today because of those winds and how strong they are going to be gusting. So we're looking at less than 5 centimeters of snow for the city of Toronto, but travel still going to be gross today. I want to talk about the temperatures this week because they are going to be dropping like a rock. We are going to be seeing temperatures by Thursday into the -20s without the wind chill. -22 by 7 a.m. Thursday morning. That is absolutely frigid. It is going to feel more like the -30s. That is dangerously cold. This is when we start talking about extreme cold safety. Frostbite, you can get it in less than 10 minutes. The kids need to be bundled up appropriately. Do not let your pets outside for more than 5 minutes at a time. There's the cold day, there's the cold day, and then we finally start to moderate as we get closer to the weekend and we return to more seasonal values. Your local forecast starts right now. A much better scene, but we've got blowing and drifting snow to talk about. I'm Emily Vukovic. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Tuesday. It is the 29th of January. And not only are we dealing with blowing and drifting snow, but we have a deep freeze to watch out for. Temperatures are going to get so cold. And coming up in Force of Nature, I've got video of a 70-car vehicle pileup because of icy road conditions. First, we're going to talk about our watches and warnings. They have been issued by Environment Canada, and they involve not only a snow squall watch, but a snow squall warning and a blowing snow advisory. Some of these areas are going to see winds pick up to about 70 kilometers an hour. Blowing and drifting snow can cause near zero visibility on the roadways so quickly. Looking at the radar, the bulk of the moisture for us has now moved off towards the east, but we do have some squalls firing up along the shores of Huron and Georgian Bay with those southwesterly winds. Into the Niagara region, you could be seeing a fairly decent band coming through today, especially with those strong winds. Temperatures this morning, we're looking at -5, feeling more like -15 for the city of Toronto. And that's actually balmy compared to yesterday, and it's going to be balmy compared to tomorrow. 7 degrees is our daytime high. Could still pick up a few isolated flurries throughout much of the GTA throughout the day today because of these squalls. There's that band for you in Niagara. There are the bands coming off of Huron and Georgian Bay. And we've got about less than 5 centimeters in the forecast for much of the GTA throughout the day today. But we do have cold air on the way. Tyler Hamilton takes us right to the polar vortex. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on The Brief. Nicole, Chris, and Emily with you. And yesterday, what a day throughout parts of southern Ontario, you guys. The snow, the drifting, the blowing. It was a nightmare for commuters.
It was awful. I took a drive that usually takes 10 minutes in the mid-afternoon as it started to get going. It took me 30 minutes.
To get a burger.
Yeah.
To get a burger.
Yeah.
That's what she was
Well,
doing.
it was comfort food because as that snow started and it was cold, I'm like, I just want to zone out here.
I love it.
Yeah, with lots of images. About 30 centimeters fell with this particular storm.
So we're looking at one of the snowiest January days for sure.
Yes.
Pretty good. Ottawa typically gets about 55 centimeters in January, and we're up over 90 centimeters. So we're overachieving in some of the bigger cities in Ontario.
All right. Well, let's take a look at where the storm is headed now. It's moved out primarily of the GTA, but we still have some squalls moving in behind it. So that's going to be the kind of story for today. Let's take a look.
Townships up towards the Saguenay. And Nova Scotia will see lesser amounts because you're going to get snow and rain. That's for Wednesday. Northern New Brunswick, decent snow, though.
The cold is on the way behind it, and Kyle Britton has already experienced it across the prairies. Saskatchewan problems.
Hashtag Saskatchewan problems. And you know what? Hashtag Winnipeg problems. Look at these temperatures, and I want to highlight.
It is going to be a frigid one.
All right, we'd love to hear from you. You can connect with us on Twitter at Weather Network, your local star now.